So this
So
is
we're going to go with
Apple
the
Watch.
Apple Watch Series 2.
Yep.
Which won't look significantly
No, it's not going to look any different.
So we're going to open it, and you're going to be like, I've seen this before.
Yep.
But
it is
trust us,
faster
it is
now. It
different.
has GPS. It is water resistant out the wazoo. So the phones are like water resistant. This is actually like a swim watch.
And it does like its weird little water vomit thing.
Yeah,
when
it gets wet. Yeah, if you can try to see if there's. Do you have fingernails? I don't have fingernails.
Not really. Here we go.
Oh, we got it. Thanks.
These scissors just appeared.
They just
magically.
appeared. Thanks to our producer.
Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, so first, was the original box like this?
For the Sport, yes.
Oh, okay.
The Sport is always long like this. For the stainless steel, it's like a square box.
As you see, I do not own one.
I do, but yeah, Darren has a family heirloom watch. And again, this is a whole new thing for them. They've got I'm liking this little shelf system kind of. So this is what's the finish we got on this guy? This is the silver, or no, this is the black, I guess, aluminum.
Black aluminum and smaller.
Yeah, smaller. So this is smaller because I'm small. And we also got a band. But yeah, so this is the new Apple Watch, and it feels. I'm kind of compare them. So it's hard to do a direct comparison because this one is stainless steel, and this one's aluminum. So they're going to be different weights. But they basically
a jet black watch.
There is in stainless. There's a black stainless steel version.
Okay,
Yes, there's a black, and its finishes is a little bit different than this, but it's a similar sort of process. So there is a black stainless steel Apple Watch.
I mean, I don't think there's any denying that it's a nice looking watch.
It is. It's a good looking watch.
Exactly.
Exactly the same. I think it's a tiny. I think if you were to look at the specifications, it's a tiny, tiny, tiny bit thicker, but it's imperceptible.
Now, were you disappointed that they didn't change up the design at all?
No.
Or do you think it was a good idea?
No, I think it was a good idea to keep it the same way. I'll tell you why. Like, people like me, like, this watch band was $250. Okay, which I know, ridiculous. But it's pretty, and I like it. And a lot of people have invested a lot into the watch bands. And I think even if you kept the connector the same, if you changed the overall look, I think that would annoy some people. This thing's only 18 months old. They're still kind of getting the feel of it. I think people... I'm not going to buy the new Apple Watch, I don't think, because I don't need to, but because I'm still I'm happy with mine. But I think that the fact that it looks the same as the old one makes people who already made the investment feel better about their past purchase.
Would you say that GPS and waterproofing makes it like more interesting than just, say, a normal fitness tracker?
Yes, definitely. Because at this point, I think what's nice about it is that this is the idea that you can basically have your watch also be your sports watch.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of people who right now have a really bulky GPS watch that they use when they go running, or they have a watch for swimming. Now your regular watch can do that. And that's a nice thing. Just swap the band out and it has a completely different look. Go from, day to night. And I think that's actually pretty beneficial. I think it's also really telling that the big enhancements they made, other than it being faster, other than it having bigger battery, because again of the GPS, is all on the fitness and activity side. I think what they found, for the first year when the watch was out, it was really about fashion. I think they're trying to sell it as a fashion statement. And I think they've done okay.
So they had a $10,000 one.
They had a $10,000 one.
So.
That one's gone now. So they're no longer selling the 14-karat gold watch. Instead, they're selling a $1,200 ceramic watch, which is beautiful.
A little bit more, a little bit. And is that their first gadget they've ever made with ceramic?
Yeah, it is. And I got to see it in person, and it's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. It's white, that kind of iconic apple white.
Yeah.
It's very polished. It's very hard.
Heavier?
No, it's about the same as the stainless, I guess.
Okay.
But it's harder than stainless steel. So it's really hard. It's going to be durable. And that's
pricey, but like not $10,000.
but not $15,000 pricey, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's pricey, but it's like attainable.
And I think it's probably a watch that they came out with a really expensive Apple Watch, right? But then you had Android Wear watches from Tag Heuer and some of these more like Swiss brands.
Yeah.
It was on the $1,500 mark. So I
Exactly.
feel like this is them being competitive in that
I think
price range.
it's definitely being competitive in that price range, and I think it's a correction, frankly, to show that the luxury market that they thought was there for that item maybe wasn't there. Maybe there were some people, but it just wasn't there. And they're not going to sell the ceramic one in mass quantities. Not every Apple store will have it. But it's going to be one of those things if you want something a little nicer. But even this is the sport model. This feels great. This looks great. And what I like about this, I do think that the changes they've made are the fact that, I think that they read the market right. They realized the most the thing most people are doing on their Apple Watch has a lot to do with health and fitness. And so doubling down on that stuff makes sense. And so, you know, this thing is really waterproof. Like you said, there's like a little speaker like right here on the side. And when you do a water, you know, you go swimming in it or whatever, you press the side button after you've locked the screen, and the speaker will expel the water out the side.
Now, what if you don't do that?
It's still fine.
Okay.
It's still fine.
It's just like a way to...
The idea is that if you lock the screen, touching the screen won't do anything.
Gotcha.
So if you're underwater, you're not going to accidentally mess around with it. But if you didn't do that, it'll be fine. Then as soon as you're done, you press the side, and it's going to eject that water.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, you know, they showed at the event, you know, video of them literally putting this thing in, you know, a pool and going through, you know, thousands upon thousands of cycles, you know, just being run for months on end. So it looks like it's going to be pretty durable, which I think for something that still looks really nice is a good thing.
Now, I know there was I think it was when maybe Bloomberg reported that they had some trouble. They originally were thinking about putting a cellular chip in there.
Yeah.
And they ended up... time constraints and also the size of the chip itself and other things, they kick the can down the road on that. What is that disappointing for you, or do you think it's not that big of a deal?
I don't think it's a big of a deal, because I think for most people, what you'd have to give up on battery life and have to also then pay an additional $5 or $10 or whatever it would be for your cellular plan to have your watch with a phone call. I don't know how many people, I mean, I think that you might go running without your phone, and having GPS is nice for that, because you can now like have your route mapped, and you can see where you're going, and it can capture all of your activity. That's useful, but I think that in most circumstances, most people have their phone with them all the time, regardless of whether you're wearing a smartwatch or something else. You have your phone with you all the time. It's the most important thing you have. So
I guess the one thing that makes it like logical for me is that so executive editor, just taking an
executive
editor,
phone call. Very important phone call.
The one thing that I will say is like that scenario, like you say they're pushing fitness. The one scenario in my life in which that would be really good for me was like I go to the gym, leave my phone in the locker.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It'd be great to have that.
I agree.
All that stuff.
It would be great. I mean, the one thing is if you've got Wi-Fi in your gym, you can leave your phone in the locker, and you can still stream music. You can store music locally on it. You can still do all that stuff. So you can at least still get that if you've got Wi-Fi. But you're right. I mean, I think it would be useful. I don't think it's a make or break. I think most people, I think the GPS, the waterproofing, the fact that the old watch is going to still is sold cheaper, I think are good things.
I think overall, my feeling on this watch, and you can disagree, but I feel like if you don't have an Apple Watch, been thinking about it, this is the one to consider.
Exactly.
If you have an Apple Watch, probably don't need it.
Probably not. Honestly, that's how I feel. I feel like if you've already got an Apple Watch and you like it, unless you're literally, running all the time and like you're such a fitness hound that you need it, I think you're probably fine with your original. I mean, I buy everything. I'm kind of an Apple, fangirl, and I literally buy the latest of everything. I'm not buying a new Apple Watch. I think that says it all. And it's not because this is bad. It's just because I don't need it. But I think that if you've been on the fence, this is now the one to look at.
And the Christina Apple Gadget intervention will be another So I think we really have one more left.
One more left. We've got one more thing.
Before we move on, a question about the Apple Watch.
Yes.
Or in general, how about salt water?
Oh, salt water's fine.
Okay.
You can do it in open water. It's completely fine in salt water. So, I mean, they even have activity modes for open water swimming. So if you're, swimming in a lake or I guess in the ocean or something else, that's fine.